be considered cities that are surrounded with walls. It doesn't say China here. Okay. Taner Rabbanan.
These are all the cities that were walls?
Well, those are cities those are examples of cities, and then it says V'chein k'yetzer b'hem.
But there are more.
Yeah, we'll see in the Brisa right now.
When they say 3 houses, we're always saying like 3 walls of the city?
No, we're talking about a very small city.
Yeah.
We have 3, each one of these is a duplex. Okay, these are courtyards, and there's a wall surrounding it. There's a wall around it. So that's considered a city already.
So it's not
tiny.
The walls of the houses that make
No.
city.
No, we said that you can't use the walls of the houses. It needs to be a separate wall. Taner Rabbanan, the rabbi started in a brisa. Chayma, a wall. Now look at the following word. This is great. V'lay shar igar. Igar means a roof, and shar means a wall. In Hebrew, a shar is an ox, but in Aramaic, an ox is a tar. It switches for a taf. So the Aramaic shar means a wall, like shura, like a row, like we have that word even in Hebrew. But so you can't use a wall made out of roofs.
Out of what?
Roofs, out of the house, out of the way the houses would be built. That would be considered the wall. Saviv, it says surrounded. Prat l'Tveria. This is excluding Tveria. Why? Sheyama chaymasa. That it's surrounded on one side by the sea. It doesn't have a wall on that side. Rabbi Eliezer bar Rabbi Yosi Omer, Asher loy chayma. Do you remember this in the pasuk? It's written Asher loy chayma. It has a vav. This is a confusing loy. Loy with a vav means to him. Loy with an aleph means there's not. So it says Asher loy chayma, that there is to him a wall or there is not a wall. There's 2 ways of reading it. So what Rabbi Eliezer bar Rabbi Yosi says, what it means is that there, as long as there was a wall earlier, even though there isn't a wall now, it's still counted. So you use both interpretations of this word. These are the walled cities. Tana was taught in a brisa. Gamla beGalil. Gamla is in the Galilee. Gedud, we mentioned Gedud in the Mishnah. That's Be'ever HaYarden. That's across the Jordan. V'Chadid v'Aina v'Yerushalayim b'Yehuda. Those 3, Chadid, Aina, and Yerushalayim, those are in the area of Yehuda. Micah Amar. What is this brisa saying? Is it saying that these are the only ones in all of those areas that have walls? The Mishnah even said more than that. The Mishnah said Chakra and Ktsara Yeshana. The Mishnah had more, and the Mishnah said V'chein k'yetzer b'hem. Amar Abaya, turn the page. Abaya says Hachi Kamar. This is what we mean. Ad Gamla, until Gamla, the Galil, until that area, all the other cities are all walled. Ad Gedud Be'ever HaYarden, until Gedud and Be'ever HaYarden, doesn't say where we're starting from, but all of the cities until there are all walled. The Chadid v'Aina v'Yerushalayim b'Yehuda, and those are the walled cities of Yehuda. This is Abaya's answer of the brisa. That there's much more. It's just saying that until that area, all of them are walled. Rava has a different interpretation of the brisa. It says Gamla beGalil. It says Gamla beGalil. Why? Because Lafuke Gamla desharat. It's because there are other areas there are other cities with the same name. What was this one city that they think is in all the states? What city is that?
Salem.
Salem in every state? No,
there
is a Salem.
So
there's
a lot of Salems.
So if you have when we said over here, apparently there was an old name of a city, Gamla. So there would be a Gamla this, Gamla that. I think it was. I don't think it was Salem. There's another state that has another city that has maybe like Springfield or something.
Oh yeah, I think it's Springfield.
I think Springfield. That it may be in every state.
In Miami, there are a couple of them.
Oh yeah. So it's saying only the Gamla of Galil is the walled. The other Gamlas are not walled. This gets confusing to the mailman. Gedud be'ever hayarden, gedud in every island. Fuki gedud the sharatz. It's because there's a gedud in other places that are not walled. We have to specify. That's why we did this. That's why we were being specific. And Einach the loy ika the kavasayo la yitzchichle. But there are other cities, but there's no name similar to that. So we didn't bother specifying. Yerushalayim, the Gemara asks now, Yerushalayim michlak ba? Is Yerushalayim have the status of a walled city, that if someone sells a house, it gets sold and you can't get it back after a year? But Tanya, but it was taught in a Bryce. This Bryce is in Baba Kama. It lists all of these 10 things. Asar Dvarim Nem Yerushalayim. There are 10 things that are said regarding Yerushalayim, and one of them is Ein Abayis Chalak Ba, that even though it's walled, but it doesn't have the status. It doesn't have that rule. Rabbi Yochanan ki Yerushalayim de Mekefes Chaim Meis Yeshua Benun v'leik Yerushalayim de'il Yerushalayim Ein Abayis Chalak Ba v'lo Hacha Abayis Chalak Ba. We didn't mean to say that Yerushalayim is a walled city that has the status. We meant to say that any city that's walled, like Yerushalayim, any city that's walled like Yerushalayim, not the law, the wall. We're discussing the wall, not the law. Because regarding the law, it doesn't apply to Yerushalayim. But Ravashi,
By the way, Rav Ashi's answer here shows that Jews were into real estate development a long, long time ago.
Ravashi says, yeah.
Springfield was number 2. Washington was number 1. And Salem was number 8.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So there's a Washington in every state?
Well, at least
or most common?
In 88, it was the number 1 of the most common.
And what are the other 7?
Whatever, look it up. I just get rid of it.
It's one of the advantages of not learning on Shabbos. You can't do that on Shabbos.
Ravashi says, Lavam Rav Yosef, did Rav Yosef not teach Shrei Kadesh Shavi, that there were 2 cities called Kadesh? Zachanam Shrei Yerushalayim. However, there's also 2 cities called Yerushalayim.
He was telling
Jerusalem, Rhode Island.
buy a house in Jerusalem.
Okay. You would say there's another Manhattan.
Right.
Okay, Tanya was taught in a brisa.
There's another Miami. You know that.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Ohio.
Uh-huh. It was taught in a brisa. We're going to quote Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yossi here. Then we're going to quote a contradiction. See if we can get through this. Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yossi says, there's a missing word here. It's supposed to be Amar Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yossi. Lama manu chacham meselu. Why did the sages count these cities? Shek Shalom bnei Agayla, when the Jewish people came back from Babylonia, Matzu Elu, they found these V'kitchum and they sanctified them. I'm not sure how they sanctified them, what they did to sanctify it, but they sanctified it. Maybe it just means they conquered it. Aval Rishonos Batlu, but all those earlier cities that they had when they lived in it during the first temple, those are all nullified. Misha Batla Kedusha Sarat. Oh yeah, let me see that. So that would be subject. The procedure is to sanctify what involves Toida offerings. Yeah, that's what the Gemara says. They walked around with 2 Toidas. 2 Toida offerings by 40 loaves of bread. Okay, yeah. So there was a procession that they had. So obviously, Kosavar, he must hold that Kedusha Rishayna Kitcha L'Shaita V'le Kitcha L'Asid Lavin. The original sanctification of Yeshua was only for that time. Once they left the land, it lost its sanctity. When they came back, they only sanctified those new cities that they sang. Everything else was lost. But Minu, we have a contradiction. Am Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Shmuel bar Rabbi Yossi says, "B'chiyela b'lvad hayo." Is it only these cities? Halek v'nemar. But it says, "Shishimir kol chevel argav kol ein arim b'tzuris." It says these are walled cities reaching to the heavens. In the beginning of Devarim, describing the Israel. Ella lama manacham esela. So why did the sages only say these few cities? Shek sha'alu b'nei Agayla, because when the Jewish people came back from the exile, matzu elav kitchum, they found these and they sanctified them. Kitchum, what do you mean sanctified them? Ha'amrina d'lai tzarich l'katshinu. We hold that you don't need to sanctify them. Ella, there's a missing word here. It's supposed to be matzu elu umanum. They found these cities really they didn't need to sanctify them. They found these cities and they counted them. It's not only these. As long as you can get a tradition from your fathers, that it was surrounded by a wall. I don't know if the archaeology would is considered a tradition, but because the original sanctification of Yeshua does not go away. You have to discuss this with the Satmar. So the original sanctification is here. Here we have a contradiction, because Rabbi Shmuel Bar Rabbi Yossi in one place says that the original sanctification does not last. Shmuel Bar Rabbi Yossi now says the sanctification does last. How are we going to answer this? If you want to say Trei Tanai V'Liba de Rabbi Shmuel, there's two students that are saying this according to Rabbi Shmuel. And maybe he taught it differently at different times, but it's not. Rabbi Shmuel's opinion was only one. It's not a contradiction. He taught it here like this, he taught it there like that. Different students are saying it over. If you want, you could say Chad Minai Rabbi Lazar Bar Rabbi Yossi Amra. One of them was not Rabbi Shmuel Bar Rabbi Yossi, it was Rabbi Lazar Bar Rabbi Yossi. The Tanya was taught in the Brisa. Rabbi Lazar Bar Rabbi Yossi Omer Asher Loi Chayma. We quote the Brisa again that there is to him a wall. Afal Pishein Layachsha V'Hayo Leikadim Lachain. It says Loi that there is not a wall. There is to him. There's not. Same word. So how does that work? It says even though there isn't now, but there was earlier. My taima. What's the reason why that should work? My time demand Amar Kitcher Rishayna Kitcha Lashaita V'Le Kitcha Laslavi. Why would anyone hold that it was sanctified originally, but it doesn't continue on? The Ksiv Vayasam Ne'agel Hashavim Men Ashvi Sukkos Vayeshu B'Sukkos Kliyasam Mimei Yeshua Ben Nun called Cain B'nei Yisrael. But Yisimcha G'dei L'May. The Gemara says over here, it quotes the pasuk in Nehemiah Ches. When they came back, they made a sukkos like they never made since the days of Yeshua. That's what the pasuk says. The problem is, Efsheba David v'le'as sukkos. David was there. They didn't make sukkos. Achaba Ezra. Elamakish b'yasem me'ezra l'b'yasem me'Yeshua. It doesn't mean the sukkos. Ma b'yasem me'Yeshua manashmitim v'yolis b'kitshu arichayma. B'yasem me'ezra manashmitim v'yolis b'kitshu arichayma. You have to read it differently. It's not that they made sukkos that they didn't do since the days of Yeshua ben Nun. No, they made sukkos. And they did things that they didn't do since the days of Yeshua ben Nun, which is sanctifying the land and counting the Shemitim and the Yoblis. That's the reason why what it means is that they lost the sanctity and they had to re-sanctify it. That's the source of this. Okay, well, we're stopping in the middle, but we'll be on time for davening.
We have a lot of work to do on Shabbos, right?
Well, it's not so much.
You missed
it's a page.
The beginning.
What we're going to do is, Mitzvah Shem, we'll learn Shabbos morning. Then we'll come back at 7 o'clock and we'll have a siyum. We'll have to finish it over here. We'll have a siyum at 7 before Mincha. It's about 40-50 minutes before Mincha. We'll finish it and we'll have...
You don't want to make it on Sunday?
I would love to, but...
Faster.
But